Okay, welcome to today's Inside Real Estate Success webinar. My name is Ryan Hartman. I am without Annalisa today, so there's going to be a little different format. I might be a little slower to reply to questions, but do ask your questions in the box. The topic today is Fixer Upper Text Code Workshop, and what I want to do was kind of highlight one of my favorite features of KV Core and Conversion Plus, and that is the text reply code feature. I don't think it gets talked about enough, and I thought it was kind of overdue to do a webinar dedicated to this feature. We did one about a year ago now, which you can find in the entire playlist of replays. We post all these to a YouTube playlist. I'll make sure everybody on the call has it, and that you can find that link if you're watching a replay right now. But yeah, the text code feature in KV Core and Conversion Plus is very, very powerful and can be a great way to generate cell number leads, so to speak, right? If you just want to be somebody who gets into conversations quickly and you want an accurate cell number from all your leads, this is the feature that we're going to point to. So might go a little long today. If you need to drop off, no big deal. There's kind of a lot that I want to copy, but mostly what I want to do, since Annalisa isn't here, just kind of wanted to riff on stuff. I thought this was a cool feature that would allow us to sort of play around not only with the text codes, but with different advertising channels. You know, plan to have a lot of fun. We might get into some geekery around creating images and videos like that. We'll just see where it takes us. Can somebody please let me know you can hear me before we dig into the core content today? Just chat a message. So yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can see your screen. I really appreciate that. Anyone? Bueller, are you here? Well, somebody can hear me, right? Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going. We are recording, like I said, and we'll post a replay later. But thank you, Sarah, for saying that. I think you do that for me every week. I really appreciate it. I'm the same way. I'll sit on the webinar and I won't reply. But I know there's a good number of you on today. So thank you to the few of you who've now replied. All right, let's go. All right, so the plan is to create a text response code and promote it in a bunch of places so we generate a bunch of real cell number leads. A little bit of theory here is that you know, all the features that you have in KV Core and Conversion Plus, all of the other lead generations you have out there, you have Zillow, Realtor.com, you have all these different vendors, you have all these different ways that we talk about to advertise on Facebook, Google, Craigslist. You know, it can be overwhelming. And as we go through this content today, I would submit that if you just pick one main offer and one capture point, when we're talking about these text codes, we're talking about a way to capture leads. If you just pick that one thing and you focus on it relentlessly for a while and you stay really focused, you can build, it can be the cornerstone of your entire business, and you won't need all that distraction and all those other things. So what we're doing today will just be kind of a narrow example of one angle you can take, and an example of taking that angle and that lead capture offer and spreading it everywhere you go. So I'm going to go for a low-hanging fruit. What offer are we going to do today? We're going to do a text code that offers a list of fixer uppers in a specific market. And I'm intentionally using this offer because for me, this is where I always have the most success. Foreclosures, fixer uppers, the perceived deal. We have HGTV out there, you know, with that show Fixer Upper. We have all those fixer upper shows, you know, where you rehab a house and there's no closing costs and, you know, it only takes 3 weeks, all that stuff. So it's kind of a zeitgeist. It's out there in the mainstream and it resonates with people. So I really like the fixer upper offer as a way to generate a lead and contact info, with the caveat, I don't want, you know, I've been doing this a while. I know the response to this is always, well, I don't want to work in the lower end of the market. I don't want to work with crappy properties all day. And with this specific offer, I would just say that this is not about working with the lower end of the market or only working fixer uppers. It's just about starting a conversation about real estate. All right. So this is about starting a conversation about real estate. And the actual tool here, the text response codes, is a great way to get into conversation, because in order for somebody to text you to the code that we're about to create, they have to do it from their cell number. So you're going to get the person's cell number, which gives you the option to text them or call them. And we all know we're holding our phones all day long. It's a great way to generate conversations. That said, just because I'm doing fixer uppers today, there's 1,000 different ideas and niches that you could go with. You could do luxury properties, new construction, land close to a certain school district, right? Just price reviews. There's, you know, the possibilities are limitless. And just go to the front end of your website and start playing with the search options. You'll come up with tons of ideas. But for today, we're going to do fixer uppers. So Tracy's asking, what's an example of the main offer? I'm getting there. So what we're gonna do, I called this a workshop. We're actually gonna just do this stuff live today. All right, so yeah, it might seem a little abstract, but I'm gonna dive in here in just a second. In fact, right now, and we're gonna create the text response code. And I just wanna make sure, I know that some people use K Plus and some people use KV Core. I'm just gonna kind of show you how to do it in both systems, and then we'll start advertising the thing and crafting our ads that make the offer everywhere we go. All right, so let's make the text code. I'm going to jump first into, doesn't really matter, I'll go into Conversion Plus first, and I'll create my code there. All right, so in Conversion Plus, you KV Core people, just hold on a minute. It's very similar. I'm going to go to lead generation. I'm going to go to custom text codes, like so, and it's going to skip me right to the section. I'm going to click Add New. And I haven't used fixer-uppers, so I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to use fixer-uppers, okay? And then the reply message that I'm going to send is going to give people the list of fixer-uppers in the market that I'm talking about. So kind of just watch what I do. I'm just going to go to the website that this is connected to. It's actually my brother's site. Go there. I keep this simple. I apologize if you hear the Fortnite battle going on in the background. It kind of just landed at my house while we wait for this to land. hopefully my wife can settle those guys down for me, or I'm gonna have to run out of the room and do it. But here we are at the front end of the site, and we'll just do the whole county here. You know, you pick whatever segment of the market. If it's very local, or you want to do a town or a zip code, you do whatever you want. And I'm actually going to use under the options. That my MLS is pretty well tied in. The fixer-uppers pull into this site here locally pretty well. So on my brother's site, they should pop up. Let's just see. It found 90. So that's a nice, healthy sample. And I always like to do the list. Just a little tip. I think the grid is good, but for just my personal preference, I like to sort my list, my property search results into a list. And I generally will do it by price, either ascending or descending, depending on, well, it doesn't matter, depending on what I think will get people to actually engage and opt in. So in this case, I think that low-end fixer-uppers will pique more curiosity in this market. Like a $59,000 house here in St. Pete would be interesting, so it'll get people to keep clicking on my site. So just a side thing to think about, anytime you're creating squeeze links or links on your site. So I'm gonna go Control-C, creating my link here. And one thing we're going to need to do, like I said, this was going to be kind of workshoppy today where we delve into certain things, is I'm going to need to shorten this link. It's really, really long. And you'll even see here it says, please use a URL shortener, and it links out the tiny URL. So I'll actually just use tiny URL since it's the one our system's recommending. And I'll paste the long link in, click make a tiny URL. And it gives it to me right here. Now, some of you guys might use Bitly. I used to love goo.gl, but Google seems to like to just anything good they make, they seem to get rid of. So goo.gl seems to be gone. But there's plenty of these link shorteners. Just Google them. Bitly's probably the most popular one, and we have tiny URL here. So I've now turned my link into a shortened link right here. UKV Core users, of course, there's built-in shortening functionality as well there. All right, so what's my message? Hi, here's the fixer-upper link. Just curious, are you an investor or looking for a house to move into? So I give them the information really quick. We only have so many characters, 150 characters. And then I give them this open-ended question. Just curious, are you an investor or looking for a house to move into? That specific question, see, I like it because it almost applies to any real estate lead you generate. But depending on the offer you're making, you just do something that makes sense. Give them an either or and make it easy for them to reply. So I have that there. I'll share a little tool I like to use just to make sure I didn't go over my 150 characters. It's called lettercount.com. And you guys see the notifications in my window at the bottom right? That doesn't happen all day until I get on a webinar. Trust me. All right, 134 characters. So that's I'm very happy with that. It fits in the limit. I give them the info they requested, and then I ask them an open-ended question to try to generate a conversation. So I'm going to submit and save that text code. Now, for you KV Core users, I'm just going to very quickly show you where you're going to go to do the same things. Really easy stuff. We'll go to the lead engine. And then it is in call capture. And we are going to go down and add new. This is a demo account, so we have a bunch of gobbledygook in there. And same thing, fixer-uppers. Message or link. Just so you know, in both systems, guys, you can actually just pop a MLS ID in if you just want to give information about a specific listing. It's kind of a quick little shortcut there. And you just choose the number here in KV Core, and you're good to go. You just add it. And then everything else we're going to do today is pretty similar for both systems. And you'll find that for those of you who are coming here for the first time to one of these sessions, generally what we're doing with these success webinars is less about the nitty gritty. We'll touch upon how to use different things in the platforms, but we more want to show you ways to have success with the platform, how to use it. And that's what we're about today and on these webinars. So, all right, we've got our text code created. Next thing I want to show you, and I know some of you are thinking this, is like, okay, what the heck was that? How do I kind of make the offer? And how this works is that text code I need, like fixer uppers, right? I'm kind of typing it on my screen here. Whenever somebody texts that to the specific number, you're going to get a reply. So if you guys want to test this out, let's use my demo account for this so my brother doesn't get a bunch of messages all of a sudden. But if you text fixer uppers to the smart number, right? So I'm putting that on the screen here. And I'll get you guys a copy of this doc who are live with me here in just a second. So text fixer uppers to for a complete list of fixer uppers in Pinellas County. Okay, and I'll kind of highlight this so you guys can see it a little better. So when we talk about a text code offer, this is it right here. Text fixer uppers to that number. If you can see it on my screen, go ahead and feel free to text it. Somebody here at Inside Real Estate's phone will start blowing up, whoever that's attached to. Maybe it's Annalisa. She's trying to have a day off. So, but text fixer uppers to that number, and I could even probably get rid of the +1, like that to make it more marketing friendly. And, put some dashes in there. And this is sort of the text response code we're talking about. Now, somebody's saying they can't see my screen. I hope that other people can see the screen. Let's see here. Well, I'll assume that since not a lot of people are saying that, you can still see the screen. All right, so we've created our offer. Text fixer upper. Somebody texts it, they get the link, and then I start trying to talk to them. Hey, are you an investor or fixer upper? Now, investor or owner occupant. Now, the cool thing here is that even if nobody replies to this text, again, I have the cell number, right? This is the really, especially for those of us on this call, or for those of you who are a little old school and you're like, I just want good phone numbers, this is where I would go. Hammer these text codes, because anytime somebody replies, you have their cell number. Okay, thank you, Heidi. As the leads come in, I'll just mention in KV Core, I think they're right down here. They'll be under text leads like this. And then in KV Core, I'm going to stumble a little because Annalisa's not here, but there's a spot where you'll see the text leads as well. And I'll include documentation on how to find them there. Now let's continue on into more of the fun stuff that we're doing. Now that we've got our core offer, remember I said you could take this one thing, and I know I could take this one thing and run a whole real estate practice out of it that I personally enjoy. That's the cool thing about this business. We could all, I like going and looking at shells and presenting them to investors and saying it's going to take 50 grand for you to fix this up and you can sell it for XYZ. That's the neat thing about real estate. We can all pick the sort of property and the type of customer that we like to deal with and then build an offer that suits them and kind of craft a lifestyle business around it if we want. So now I've got my fixer upper offer. I'm using KV Core, Conversion Plus. Now let's promote it relentlessly, and we're going to have some fun right now. So the first, I just have a list of ideas here. I invite anybody listening to just anything I'm missing, please share in the comments, and we'll be good to go. Good question, Anthony, saying, was that 760 number your smart number? Yeah, that would be your smart number in that case, and that's where I got that number. Yes. Okay. So first thing, email signature line, right? So I can go into Gmail, of course, and set my Gmail signature. I guess I'll do that. I mean, we don't want to assume that everybody knows how to do that, but let me show you how to set a Gmail signature. Like I said, this may go long today because I am going to dive in on these specific examples, these traffic examples. And in another window, I'm getting my Gmail open. I just don't really want to show you all the work stuff because who knows what's in there, right? So let's just do settings here. I really just don't want to show the names of anybody who might be on this call or something like that. But so let's do. We got our settings up. There's a little gear at the top right of Gmail, and most of us are using Gmail because our systems are tied to Google heavily. And what we can do is on the main settings page, if we scroll down, you'll see where I have my signature right here for my normal stuff. And what I can do is just kind of anywhere. I can do, even if it's at the bottom, wherever you decide. Wait, text fixer uppers to, right, for a complete fixer uppers in Pinellas County. So I don't want to bore you guys watching me do that over and over again, but that's kind of the message we're going to do in all of these things. And I made it big, bold, yellow, and you can have a little fun with this. In Gmail in particular, there's a whole kind of HTML editor up here that you can play with. You could probably even put an arrow or something, not sure, but you could, you can get really fancy and put it, even make it an image. So text fixer uppers too. And now anytime you send an email in your local market, people are going to see that. And what's cool is that, in the course of doing transactions and talking to various people in real estate, people who aren't already your leads will see your emails. Maybe you're CCing a title company or, a home inspector, sees that. And he might say, oh, that's interesting, and opt in. So that's one good place to put it. Email signature line. Next one, back of business cards. So how many of you guys have a business card, but the back has nothing on it? I think, a lot of us do. Like, we don't use that real estate on the back of the card. So you can either have your card printed like that, or you can manually write it on. If you already have your business cards, you could buy some labels, maybe have some labels printed out with it already on, and just stick them all on real quick. And then, back up business cards and leave at convenience store when tipping the waiter, waitress, etc. So I think that's pretty basic. But somebody checks you out at the supermarket, you say thank you, you get your ATM card back or whatever, and you go, hey, this is for you, right? Very easy old school stuff where you're mixing that old school give everybody your card technique with this interesting offer on the back for a list of fixer-uppers. And if you leave the store and they get home at night and they see the card and they text you, you've got that person's cell number. And when you call them back to follow up, they're like, yeah, it was I checked you out at Publix, right? So back of business cards. Tracy's got a great idea. So she's saying, how would you, we'll cut that idea in line. How would you apply this to home buying workshops? So what I would probably do, if you're having people register for the web shop and workshop, after they register, thank them with a video and say, here's a bonus for you, text, code. Here's a bonus for you. In the workshop itself, use signage. Right, so as people get there, use signage at the workshop. If you have slides, say you're doing this online, like you guys are watching me do a webinar right now, but say you're doing a home buying webinar online, put at the bottom of every slide. So just a few ideas right there. Now, some people are saying they can't hear me. Go to webinar it's finicky. Like some weeks it'll be great, some weeks whatever it can go slow. One thing that'll make sure is that if you're not checking other windows in your computer while you're watching this webinar, it'll help with the audio performance. Just a little tip there. So home buying workshops, definitely integrate your text codes there. Just put them in all physical collateral, honestly, that you have. If you're doing a newspaper ad for the workshop, you can include it in there too. Okay, next one is probably the most obvious. And one of the first places a lot of us will go. We've talked a lot about social posting of our squeeze links posting in groups. There's nothing that stops you from doing an organic Facebook post. So what I'll do here today is let's make one. Let's use Google Draw. You get a bonus tutorial on Google Draw, and I'll show you how I hack up images here. But let's make a Facebook-friendly image around fixer-uppers. The first thing I'm going to do is go find an image of a fixer-upper. Images.google.com. Upper crack house. I have to do crack house because otherwise it'll give me all those HGTV images. I've done this a few times. Cracked foundation, actually. So try to find an ugly house. This one sticks out to me. It's kind of blue. This one I've seen before. This one's kind of fun, right? So with this fixer-upper offer in Facebook in particular, I've always gotten good action by being as kind of crazy as possible with the image, right? So I'm going to copy the image of the house. I'm going to open up my Google Draw. Who knows what I'm going to have in my canvas here? Oh, it's Alexa. our new Alexa app that some of you guys saw last week, right? So let's get that off. I usually keep a Google Draw kind of like quick link. And what I'll do is I'll just put like a white square on the back of it and then just do this kind of thing with it. So I'm pasting the image I found of the fixer-upper. And what I'm going to do, Facebook doesn't like for you to have more than 20% of the image be text. So I'm going to be mindful of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my message. Like this. I'm going to insert a text box right here. And I'll paste that. And it kind of carried the highlighting over for me, which is nice. But I could also have set that up here, up at the top in my image. So I'm just going to make it a little bigger, like this. I'll kind of make it ride the roof line. I got to drag it. There we go. It's spell checking me, so I got to hit ignore, right click ignore. And then maybe I'll make the fixer-uppers like stand out. I'll make it red and like another font or something. Let's try that. Okay, so what does everybody think? Is that kind of cool? I know it's ugly, but it should get attention on Facebook, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my screenshot software. Lightshot Screenshot is what I use. And I want to go roughly 2 by 1, 2 wide. I'm going to do 1200 by 600 is a good rule of thumb right here. And I'm going to copy. I'll actually save it to my hard drive so I can get to it easier later. And now I've got this image I can post to Facebook, and I can do some text with it. So let's go back to Facebook. I'm going to do this on my personal profile for now, but I can also do it on my fan page and then run paid traffic at it, right? So let's actually just do that, just because I want to show you how to run the ad too. So I'm going to go to the page. Bear with me, everybody. It wants me to open up my business manager here. Okay. And now what I'll do, this is not complicated. We all know how to create a Facebook post. I'll just grab my picture and upload it. And what's cool is if you say, hey, I'm going to just roll with this idea and I'm going to promote it everywhere, you only need to do what I just did once. I promise you, if you're just relentless about promoting this offer everywhere you go, you can build a business around it. So we'll just say thinking, and you can call us to this. So I'll just say thinking. Are you in? If so, here's a complete list of fixer-uppers. Text fixer-uppers move for the Right, and I've been playing around with the emojis a little more. They seem to help make this big ugly post. See right here, Facebook symbols. I'll share this link to everybody. Make sure it gets on the doc. But and we'll just do grinning face. And then we'll just hit publish. So basically, we're reiterating the offer for the fixer-uppers twice in the ad. Now, this gets really interesting with Facebook ads. And the way that I've done this in the past is that I'll just run a simple Facebook engagement ad, almost like a boost post, where there's no link to be clicked. I just want to show this to as many people as possible. So what I'll do now, I've got this post. You can post it on your personal profile, all your pages. You can post it in groups. Of course, we've all talked about this. Now what I can do is I can go to Facebook and actually run this as an ad. So let's go to a Facebook account. Okay, guys, and I'm going to create an ad. And I'm going to use the engagement type of Facebook ad because I just want to show the post that's on my page. We'll call it whatever we want, fixer-upper. Click continue. Heidi's asking what I use for screen capture. It's called Light Shot Screenshot. If you just Google Light Shot Screenshot. Okay, and I apologize for the audio, guys. Every time I go into Facebook on these webinars, go to webinar Fritz is out, but it'll be good in the recording. And then I'm just gonna pick this area. So pick the whole county. And with all of Facebook's changes to targeting lately, I've been playing a lot with just leaving this completely wide open, picking a little bit of age. Facebook's not going to allow us to pick ages for real estate and do some other things, and having good success. So I'm not even going to really think too hard about the targeting. I'll leave it at $11 a day budget. Click continue. And then the next thing you do is you select the post here. Now I got to select my fan page first. So let's do that. There we go. There we go. So now I'm dropping this text code offer right directly into the stream of a bunch of people in my market, and thousands of people will see this every day for my $11 a day. And I would argue that somebody texting this with a real cell, I get their real cell number. If I can get one a day for $11, I don't know, that's pretty good. I mean, if that happens 30 times a month, in theory, I'm going to have a couple of really good conversations with somebody. It's just a numbers game who wants to do something real estate related, right? And I have something really cool to talk about with them. And if you pick the right kind of angle, Fixer Uppers lends itself to fun follow-up where you just start to email interesting Fixer Uppers and you do tours, video tours, and all that. This is a great front end for that kind of business. So that's it. So it's saying my reach might be slightly lower because I have a lot of text in it. I might have gone over the 20% rule, but just be mindful of that. If I wasn't live on a webinar right now, I might go back and kind of like just make the text a little bit smaller so that this didn't go through. But for now, we'll just go ahead and leave it at that, publish the post. Okay, so that is Facebook ads. We did an organic Facebook post, a paid Facebook ad. LinkedIn, I won't show you that. It's just like doing a Facebook, right? But LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, and there's nothing stopping you from doing the same post maybe once a week, just refreshing it, doing it new on your site, or doing different images of it. You can have a lot of fun with the Fixer Upper idea in particular, where you could do like Fixer Upper of the day, show a house, and then put your text overlay or do your text call to action next to it and continuously post that right there. Okay. Next idea I have here is create a blog post so it ends up in updates. Now, I don't know if you guys all know this, but the property updates that go out through our systems always feature, whenever somebody's getting daily property alerts, it always features kind of your latest blog post or latest blog post from your company. So if you're creating blog posts, that's a good way to sort of make sure all those people are seeing these offers. And sure, somebody who's already opted in and getting alerts from you is already in your system, but this then becomes a nice little way to kind of stir them up if they engage with a text code to kind of bring them to the surface again. Maybe they're dormant or you don't know if they're active, they're just viewing your emails every day. By creating the blog post, you actually get into the into that update email as it goes out. And also there's a weekly newsletter I learned from Scott Carlton on last week's session where it might go. So let's go back into KV Core here. I'll just do it in Conversion Plus. And we do add edit blog. And I don't think there's anything stopping us from making the title of our blog post the actual offer. Might be fun, right? So, oops, let's get this. Excuse me, guys. Got too many browser windows here. Right, and that's it. I made it the title, looking for a good deal on a house property. Use that text code above for a complete current list of pictures. Now, I would probably not just do this. I would probably do a video of myself making the offer like, hey, what's up? Thanks for being on my blog here. If you want to list Fixer Uppers, text that code you see up in the title, right? So you can do something like that. And then we'll set it for there. Publish blog. And now it'll live on my site and also go out in those updates right there. So just a quick little tip. You can also go back in, little hack, and change the date on these, I think, right? So you can change the date on the blog post every month, once a month, and kind of make it jump to the top of your blogs list if you wanted to. So something like this. Again, this would look much more sexy, so to speak, even if I just put that image in there that I used in my social posting, or if I did a video, I think it would look really cool. So yeah, Tracy's saying she'd love to see a blog post. I mean, it would just be, just talk. So, if you're looking for a great deal, one segment of the market to look at is Fixer Uppers. A lot of times you'll find a more motivated seller. A lot of times you won't. If you're an investor, whatever your offer is, just talk about why this segment of the market is interesting and tell them how they can get a complete current list right there. Okay, back to our document. I apologize. I don't think I shared this to everybody yet. Let's do that really quickly. Here's the notes, everybody. Sorry about that. Cool. Okay, so we did a LinkedIn and Facebook blog post. This I have here ManyChat Messenger bot. Man, there's so much so many things we could do with this, but you guys have all seen where you get to a website and the site starts talking to you. This is a little advanced, but I really think this could be a good place. Somebody gets to your site and there's a pop-up that says, hey, just curious, if you'd like to see a list of fixer-uppers, go here. And I'll also do hellobar.com. I really think that today's session will be here all day if I try to create this live. For now, I'm just going to show you manychat.com and hellobar.com. And basically what I'm talking about is kind of doing an overlay call to action on your website, either being via a Facebook Messenger pop-up or these hello bars. You see this thing up at the top that kind of does the call to action for the text code. So, you might have a chat widget pop up that says, hey, thanks for searching on my site. I put together this really cool list of fixer-uppers. Just go ahead and text now if you want to see it, or you can make them interact with the bot to get it. So there's just an idea there. Craigslist posts, right? So we haven't talked about Craigslist in a long time in these sessions, and we do have a recorded Craigslist webinar in the playlist if you guys want to see that. And in that webinar, I talk a lot about making these types of additional CTAs as you do Craigslist posts. So if I go back into KV Core and see if I can do it from there. We'll go to listings. Okay, I'm just going to grab a random listing here. I'm going to check it off. And I can do more actions. Do I have to go into the listing? I'm going to get myself in trouble. I don't have Annalisa. But I know that from a listing in both of our systems, you can post to Craigslist very easily. Just laugh at me and make fun of me for not knowing exactly where this is right now. So, all right, since you're all live and I don't want you to watch me struggle, I'll just do it in KV Conversion Plus. Okay. Sorry, guys. So our listings right here. What would you like to do? Post to Craigslist. Like so. And then we have this, what I'm trying to show you is that we have this auto posting feature, right? And the big kind of takeaway, I don't have the extension posted, is that you can post the image that I made here of the fixer-uppers as one of the property images, okay? So I am stumbling, I apologize for that. But that image with the fixer-uppers that I posted to Facebook can also be included and uploaded as an image with your Craigslist. Anytime you post a listing to Craigslist, you can also put the text call to action in the actual Craigslist ad. Is that making sense? So you know how you get to a Craigslist post like this, and then you got multiple images? What I'm saying is just upload that fixer-upper house image or whatever your offer is alongside that, and you can get lots of additional eyeballs on the offer as a channel to advertising. Google Display Network ad. So the Google Display Network is all those banner ads you see wherever you go around the web. So like I look at this site here and there, no comment on why I do. I don't want to get political, but I know that they have tons of Google Display Network ads. So I always go here, Zero Hedge. And you see like this up top, this segmentation thing, that's a Google Display Network ad. And you can go into Google AdWords, it's called Google Ads now, and you can create banner ads like this. And just like we just did where we created that image in our canvas with the Fixer Upper House, you can make images of these sizes and sneak your little text Fixer Uppers in. And as far as I know, they're still letting you get away with this. All right. So if your ad gets rejected, don't get mad at me. But the last few times I've tried it, it's been okay where you have a little text call to action in the actual banner ad. So just picture this ad up top here on Zero Hedge, where it would be get a list of Fixer Uppers. You could also just use not even create the image and use Google AdWords inbound editor. And I actually have a tutorial about Google Ads inside of the learning portal in the retargeting course. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, how to make a Google display ad, there's actually a tutorial about that in Retargeting 101. And there are plans here, I'm hoping in the next month or so, to create full courses on Facebook, PPC advertising, and Google that live in here. But for now, I'll reference this because it's another one of those things that if I tried to show you now, it would just take a while there. So launching your retargeting ads, how to run your first Google display retargeting ad. Anybody watching this, you should have access by clicking the learning portal link in your dashboard. Okay, so Google Display would be a place. Bing, do they have display? I'm forgetting. So Google Display, we'll leave it at that. Facebook and YouTube videos, right? So anytime, say you're doing just a tour of the open house you're doing this weekend, there's nothing that stops you from adding this text call to action to an existing video. So I have my screencast-o-matic.com app that I use every day, 20 times a day. I'm going to open that up. It might mess with the audio. 1 second. Might slow up my computer. Okay. And basically, you can take any video you do. We've talked a lot about this, using screencasts about market conditions and things like that. So here was an example where I'd screencasted some reviews on a site, right? So I have this existing video. Well, in Screencast-O-Matic, if I want, I can add a text overlay. So if it's about real estate, it's not related exactly, but maybe for 20 seconds in this video, I pop in my text message, my text code. I think you guys get the point, right? So any videos you're doing, that's extra real estate, you have a captive audience, they're watching a property tour you're doing or a market update or something, just put your little core offer there for text code, lay that into what you're doing. Okay. And then we have a few others here, getting a little freaky, but billboards, right? I know some of you guys out there are doing billboard advertising. And a lot of times I see realtors doing a billboard, or they do like the bus, bus benches, right? And they have their big ad. I'm like, it kills me. There's like a phone number there, but there's nothing really sexy and compelling. If you're going to pay money for that kind of print advertising, put your text code up there, make it about that. So as people are driving their car by every day, they see this offer for fixer-uppers or for new construction homes, or whatever it might be. Open houses would be a really good one. Text open houses to see a list of open houses this weekend. Put those on there. Radio too, for you ballers who have the budget for radio. Again, you probably hear radio commercials all the time where there's a text code. That's just proof enough to me that if I'm listening to Howard Stern and I'm constantly hearing text code offers, call in for info or text here for info. It must work on some level. So this is going to work on radio, local, if you can find those channels, TV, if you can do it. Drop cards let me show you those. Drop cards. Yeah, the screencast software is called screencast-o-matic.com. I know a lot of people are using, I think, Loom as well right now, but Screencast-O-Matic is free, but I pay like $50 a year, like $4 a month or something, to get their pro version, just because it has a lot of great features, and it's cheaper than harder to use platforms like Camtasia and ScreenFlow, in my opinion. So yeah, screencast-o-matic.com or Loom will get you there. And then the drop cards, you guys have seen this, like a fake $100 bill. Let's see here. So you see the $100 bill, the business card. If you Google drop cards, it basically, you would litter all over town. I probably shouldn't have this here. I should be more environmentally conscious. But it's kind of like the business card idea, but you have like these funny fake $100 bills or whatever. You just leave it around town, fixer-uppers. Next idea, make t-shirts, hats using sites like Printful and Teespring. So I had this shirt once that I made on teespring.com, and I wanted to see if real estate agents would buy it, right? I wanted it for myself, but I was like, let me see. Teespring is kind of like an auction t-shirt site where they print the shirt out for you. And I did this shirt where it was something like tap here if you want to buy a house, right? Maybe I'll show it to you. So you can do the same thing. You can get like 10 t-shirts or collared shirts made where you make your text code offer. Give me 1 second. Now that I let the cat out of the bag, I'm sure you guys want to see the shirt. I think it was the ugliest thing ever. But I sold like a bunch of them, like 50 of them or something. This wasn't the one, but ask me why your Zestimate home valuation is so inaccurate. That one I don't think sold very well. It was probably too geeky. Oh, it's on page 2. Here it is. Tap my back if you want to lower your monthly mortgage payment. That was for Google. And then I had one for, hey, just like tap my back if you want to buy a house. So the whole idea, of course, is we're really reaching. But if you take your one core idea, text fixer-uppers, and you just put it everywhere you can, including on the back of your hat, on the back of your t-shirt. Oh, we didn't even, probably a really big one, right? Car wraps. I wouldn't even know where to get one of those, but I see them all the time. A lot of network marketing people have those, and I know a lot of realtors do car wraps. And then finally, I'll end as I always do on these sessions. Don't forget the bobblehead business card holders. I just love these things. Sanjo Specialties sells them. If you Google bobblehead business card, I'll have the link in the doc. But basically, if you go to the pizza shop down the street, you go to the bar, if you have friends who work at a bar, restaurants, and you either pay them or ask them to put your bobblehead business card guy on the counter, and then the back side has your text call to action right there. Okay, I will share the doc again. Somebody's asking me to share. I'll share it right now, and it will be in the description of the replay. We post all of these replays to the YouTube playlist, and we always put a link to the doc with that. So I'll send you guys the doc now. I know I did, because I just thought of a few more. Did I miss any other places where we could plaster these text codes that came to your mind as you were watching this? I would love to hear that. We'll add it to the doc. But can guys just give me some feedback? Do you think that, if you came up with an offer, it doesn't need to be fixer-uppers, and you used our text codes, can you see how you could generate 1, 3, 5, 10, 20 inbound cell numbers a day that you could then just sit there and start calling back and having conversations with people, how this could be a good way to grow a business? And I have here the final thing, how to follow up with these leads. It is not rocket science. What you do is you just call and ask if they got the list okay. Of course they did. It was texted. We just say, hey, it's Ryan with ABC Realty. You hit my text code a little while ago. I just want to make sure the system was working okay, and it sent you the text, right? That's a cool thing. Like, I want to make sure my technology is working right. Did you get it? And then you just shut up and you let them talk to you. And then at the end of all those calls, you get permission to add them to your KV Core or Conversion Plus system and set them up for alerts. So you have a conversation. Maybe they are really looking for a fixer-upper. Most likely what they really want is a house they can afford that's ready to go, like a new construction, right, in a certain price range. And you just get their permission. You go, cool, I'm going to, is it all right with you? I'm going to set you up to just get updated once a week about all open houses in the area or something like that. So yeah, thanks for the positive feedback, guys. I apologize to any of you who had bad audio. It's just, hit or miss, but the recording should be pretty clean. I'll make sure I get links to all those resources into this doc. We post them to a YouTube playlist. It's i.insiderealestate.com/webinars. It's kind of hard to miss it because we're probably emailing you the link to this, but all of these webinars are posted to this playlist. And go ahead, and share these. You can copy the playlist, like send it to everybody at your office, make sure they're getting them. And if you would, I always forget to say this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, just so anytime we're posting these, you'll see them on YouTube. So that's it, guys. Thank you for being on. We did do this webinar about a year ago, so I'll have a link to that. I probably had some ideas there that weren't here and vice versa. So if you really want to immerse yourself with the text code functionality with Conversion Plus and KV Core, these two recorded webinars should serve you well. And we'll be back Thursday. Annalisa should be back, and I think we have a guest. I just forget who. And thanks for being here. We'll see you soon.